Welcome back, everyone. How we doing? It's the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. Here with my brother Idris. Unfortunately, Bretsky is under the weather, so we're doing a two-man run tonight. I think we saved Brett a loss on Start Bench Cut personally, but that's just me. That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree.
How you doing, man? You good?
Oh yeah. Memorial Day went well. Woo, wore me out, but I ate good, felt good, all good.
That's what's up. Yeah, I was in St. Pete for the Yankees loss against the Rays. Yankees just came out flat that day, but I had a great time. Went with Jordan, my mother. Mom had a great time. Old man tried to pick up mom too. That was kind of comical, but yeah, it was.
Okay, let me tell you about your mama. Your mama cute. Your mama's cute. She's a cute cougar. Hey, look here, your mama's cute. All due respect,
Nah, I saw that they were trying to hit on her at the ball game. I said, man, I'm gonna talk to my stepdad. He's gonna have to up that allowance. Just playing, we having fun here. But we're gonna be always, man. Reason for my existence. Got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. NBA Finals, one of the big topics that we're going to speak on tonight. Also NBA related, Darvin Ham getting his first opportunity to be a head coach for the Lakers. We're going to hit on that. A lot of cool storylines with that. NFL news and notes. We got the Yankees and the Mets. Right now, in my opinion, not even my opinion, just speaking the truth, the two best teams in Major League Baseball, not necessarily by record. The Mets are trailing slightly, but we're going to talk about what they did today. I'm going to give everyone my NHL conference predictions. And how about those fucking New York Rangers, bro? All right. Let's start it from the beginning. Let's start it from the jump. Down 3-1 against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Took a game one triple overtime heartbreaker, which I myself thought was going to cost them the series. Showed a lot of resolve. But the MVP through and through in that series and in the next series where they beat Carolina, after being down 2-0, once again losing a game one heartbreaker, a game they should have won, down 2-0, squared it up in MSG. Then they were down 3-2, squared it up in MSG again. But I feel that Game 7 was just – it was like every frustration of all three games in Carolina, 3 failed attempts to get a victory. Carolina was going to do something very interesting too because they hadn't won a road game. And for them to be undefeated at home in these playoffs without winning a road game and to be that close to the ECF was pretty wild. Because that's very rare that happens in any sport, not just hockey. But Igor Shesterkin, bro, just this dude, in my opinion, you got the two best going at it in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
It's going to be – this is the first time the Rangers have played in the ECF since 2015. 2014 losing the Stanley Cup Finals to the Kings, and then in 15 losing the ECF to the Lightning. I was actually at Game 6 in Tampa that year. Rangers scored too many goals, and I felt that, prior to that, they were undefeated in Game 7s at the Garden. And that is their one blemish. So I think revenge is on the mind for the New York Rangers. Almost 7 years in the making since they played Tampa in a playoff series. And there was a controversial trade too. The Rangers had dealt Ryan Callahan back then to the Lightning for Martin St. Louis. It had a quick reward, but looking back at it, I was a Callahan fan, so I wasn't very pleased with that. But this particular team, man, it's hard for me not to say that they don't give me the mid-90s vibes. They have just such a great balance of youth and gritty veteran leadership. You know, it's great to see Kreider get another shot and to possibly, you know, finally win one. And you can't ask for a better opponent. Tampa Bay Lightning are back-to-back defending champions. And,
shout out to Ryan Reeves. That's my man there, Mr. Troublemaker.
Yeah.
That's my dude.
Yeah. You know, both these teams have been involved with player movement, you know, very familiar.
Yeah.
Even in the previous series, you had, I believe it was 7 former Rangers on Carolina. I almost feel like the Rangers are facing each and every one of their past opponents or past teammates going through. And on a little side note, my good friend Jeff Elder, diehard Colorado Avalanche fan. And, you know, when you think about how, you know, a lot of casuals don't really mess with hockey, but to have a guy who's passionate about hockey too, but also that his favorite team is a team we're going to be locking horns with possibly if we should get past this round. It's just exciting. I cannot remember the last time I truly felt this good. Outside of 94, got to be 14 and 15 with King Henry.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I thought we had it that year.
Yeah. And I mean, but listen to this score in game one, bro. This is crazy. Colorado won game one today 8-6 against Edmonton.
Shootout.
Yeah, and Edmonton's coming off, you know, a relatively quick victory over Calgary. I was expecting that series to be a lot closer. I actually had picked Calgary to win that series. But it's exciting. Seeing that watch party in Central Park and just feeling the energy of New York City made me kind of jealous not to be there, because there's certain atmospheres in sports that can't be duplicated. And the most famous arena in the world, Madison Square Garden, whether it's a Knick game or a Ranger game, but especially a playoff game and that atmosphere, I can honestly say there is nothing quite like it. And to see that vibe back in the city, and, you know, the city's thirsty for a championship.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah, 2009 Yankees and the 2011 Giants are the most recent teams. Yeah. Rangers haven't done it since 94. And sadly, I wasn't alive. I wasn't alive the last time the New York Knicks did it. But I love it, man. There's just so many.
7 years old. I was 7 years old.
There's so many characters on this Rangers team, man. Keandre Miller, I love his pregame pump up, man.
Yeah,
dude takes on like the perfect personality for New York.
Yeah,
you know, Zibanejad
that's why I like
been
Ryan
great.
Reeves, man. That's why I like Ryan Reeves, because Ryan Reeves, troublemaker.
And I'm not gonna lie, man. I myself was a little skeptical that, you know, it's hard when you're. I'm tired, but you look like Dale from Step Brothers. Well, Brett.
Oh, Brett.
You know what? I'm not even gonna type it to you. I'm just gonna speak to you right here, Brett. I don't want to hear none of this nonsense. I'm sending this boy an invite. I'm gonna call out his manhood right here. Pardon me, Idris.
Yeah. No, do you think?
Get this fool on the show. I'm gonna be like, Brett. Brett, give me 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
Come get some.
You talk about the toughness. You're always talking about the toughness. Well, let me ask you this, Brett. Open your phone. Go to your invites. You know, you talk about toughness all the time, Brett. Would Tom Brady play with little cough? Brett is under the weather, though. I know that his little baby girl was saying we're just breaking balls, but it would be nice to have Brett on here. We'll see if he surprises us and joins. But I want to give my quick playoff predictions. Obviously, game one out west was already played. That is my prediction for the Western Conference Finals. They got the Avs winning 4-3. And I'll tell you, man, if this is going to be anything indicative of the kind of series they're going to play, then the NHL hit some gold. And now that they got the TV contract back, that is going to help the casuals get back into the NHL, because I think part of the problem, I wouldn't call it less interest in hockey, but just when you lose a massive TV deal and you're on a third or a second network that's affiliated with the big boys, it becomes very difficult. It becomes very, very difficult to draw the eye of the casuals or to grow the fan base. But I do believe that now with ESPN and the Turner Sports channels doing it, it's a good look for the NHL. I think the NHL is in a very good place where they can start catching momentum that they had in their golden era in terms of viewership, which was the 90s. You know, the Mark Messier, Mario Lemieux days, Wayne Gretzky, of course, the great one. Did you really think that it wasn't going to go 7, that I would assume any other way? New York Rangers in 7. And quite frankly, the biggest debate is going to be which goalie is going to show out. The Rangers were 3-0 in the regular season against the Lightning. This is the playoffs. Lightning looking at three-peat. First team that has had an opportunity to do that since the Pittsburgh Penguins, who went back-to-back in 92 and in 93. And just to throw this out there, the team that won the Stanley Cup that particular season in the year that they didn't three-peat was the New York Rangers. So I want to get that out. Very exciting time to be a Ranger fan and to just be a fan of hockey, especially if your teams are in this. Is that him? He's here, bro. Look at this guy.
Uh-oh.
He did it on purpose. He waited till we stopped talking about hockey.
Oh, shit.
Look at this guy. Looking like he's hanging out in the Copa over there.
Yeah,
sorry, boy.
Look at him.
That looks like that joint that Ray Liotta burned down in the background.
I feel like shit. I feel like shit, but whatever you want to talk about, I'm down.
Well, I don't want to keep you on too long, but I do want to keep you on for a little bit. You help us the best you can. But let's talk about something you're very interested in. Let's do it right now, man. East versus West. The Celtics take on the Warriors in a David versus Goliath type challenge. This is huge. Celtics finally winning the Eastern Conference after 4 failed attempts in 6 years. They've gotten close so many times. Finally won the conference. And I'll tell you, man, there were no shortcuts. They beat a very talented Brooklyn team and kicked their ass in round 1. Defeated the world champions, the defending world champions, and in my opinion, the best player in the world in Giannis. And in the third round, very spirited effort. A weird way to win. A very weird way to win the series, considering that they won games 5 and 7 in Miami after blowing games in Boston. They've been very hard to figure in that regard. The number 1 offense versus the number 1 defense. It's kind of the best of both aspects of the game. But fellas, whoever wants to jump on this first, what are your thoughts? We all know who the favorite is.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Hold on.
And he's drinking.
He's getting his juice ready.
All right.
Say
I'm ready to go.
Warriors in 6. I think Boston struggled with Miami. Miami beat them with Jimmy Butler on the bench.
They did.
That was game 6.
I think that was game 1.
The game. It was 2 games they beat him with.
There were 2 games where Butler wasn't right. Yes.
Yeah. And Golden State is not like they're not like Miami. They will stretch the floor. They'll run the floor. They got shooters on the floor. You got Peel, Thompson, Curry, and even Draymond. If he shoots it, he'll get you 15 points.
Yeah, Draymond is a nice
Draymond.
option.
Fuck Draymond. All right, the best defender of the freaking generation. Stop it. Fucking stop it.
Who said that?
Okay? I'm about to go Stephen A on your ass.
Draymond said
All
this.
Right? I'm about to go Stephen A on your ass.
I never said that.
No, you didn't. Draymond did. But fuck that kid. No.
This might be a good time to mention that another one of Idris's famous relatives is Draymond Green. We did.
Oh God, stop it!
No, I'm playing. Let you know. Sit down. Yeah. Send the wolves on him. No, I'm just messing. Right. He's not related to Draymond.
Listen, boys. The league wants this. I want this. The series is going 7. It's going 7. Boston has a better defense. I think they have a they can shoot the ball. You've seen Jason Tatum shoot. You've seen Brown shoot. Darren Williams now. You know what I mean? Like, they can shoot the ball. Marcus Smart, great defender. And as a matter of fact, he's a better defender than Draymond Green. And you know that's going to come up in the finals. Was Marcus Smart not given the Defensive Player of the Year?
Okay.
Was he not?
Yeah.
Okay. You know Draymond is going to...
I feel like Idris is going to punch you through the screen, so I decided to separate you two. But continue.
Sorry, dude. You know Draymond is going to make it a point where he is the better defender. So what I'm hoping for is that it comes down to the nitty-gritty, down in the paint, elbows thrown, bloody noses. I want to see some Doc Rivers, like
the tooth,
teeth flying out kind of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to see. And I honestly think this series will go 7. Now, the winner, I'm 50-50 with, because both teams can win on the road. I think Boston has proven their point of not closing out games at home, winning on the road with their backs against the wall. And Golden State has home court advantage. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I think they do. Boston plays better on the road. Even if Boston wins 1 out of 2 games at home, that still gives them a shot on the road. They're a better road team. They're the road warriors of the NBA playoff stop.
But one thing that I think you're overlooking before I even give you my prediction or talk about the matchup, the Golden State Warriors have the second best defense in the NBA. Something that gets overlooked because of the fact that they are always looked upon as such an offensive entity. Now, I must say this. Thank you, James. Yes. Yeah, the Warriors are the home team. This is my thing. To Idris's point already, Golden State definitely has the ability to stretch the court out.
100%.
And quite frankly, the difference between these two.
So does Boston.
Not like that. And the difference between these two teams, I feel that Boston is very banged up, where I do think that some of these meetings have taken a lot out of them. You're talking about 2 7-game series versus a team that has literally coasted through the playoffs for the entirety. And yes, I understand that Boston has done very well on the road. But one thing that has to be taken into consideration is that the Warriors are really good at home. And the Celtics are not very good at home. And that right there is a red flag that this could be tough. I'm going to give the Celtics the emotional Game 1 victory. And I do think they'll win 1 in Boston as well. The better team wins here. The better team is the Golden State Warriors. I believe that game speed, Boston is going to get punched a little bit and be like, oh, shit, because they have not dealt with an offense of this caliber. But interesting fact, and I'll throw it out there. And I actually found this out from a friend of mine who's a big Red Sox. He's a Pats fan, Boston guy. Jake Ferrari brought this to my attention that the Celtics are actually 6-2 in their last 8 games in Golden State. I found that very interesting. I don't think that means shit in the finals, though.
That's very interesting, actually.
It's an interesting stat, but I'll be honest, dude. This is Curry's time. to truly solidify himself as he continues to ascend into top 10, air. And he's gunning for Magic to be considered the greatest point guard. I personally will never say that. But the bottom line is Steph has never won a finals MVP. Previously, his 3 rings, Andre Iguodala and 2 times KD. And that shows a lot of selflessness, in my opinion, on Steph's part. But I love the matchup. I think it's going to make for good TV. But I do not see this series going 7. And I another thing to take into consideration, the Celtics don't have anybody on their roster who has ever been in a series like this, whereas Golden State has a shit ton of not only coaching experience, but player experience. And I do believe that's going to pay the big dividend in the difference in the series.
Yeah.
Well, in the words of John Madden, the better team sometimes doesn't win. It matters who plays better that day.
Well,
the
Warriors play better more consistently most days than the Celtics do. I admire what the Celtics have done.
I mean, this will be the Warriors' test. I think Boston is going to take it to them.
But I wholeheartedly believe that the teams the Warriors just mashed down, the Western Conference is superior this year. I'm not even going to really.
Memphis and Dallas?
Yeah.
Memphis and Dallas.
Phoenix.
Okay.
Phoenix is, yeah.
Golden State didn't have to beat Phoenix. Golden State didn't have to beat Phoenix.
Yeah, and they would have.
They would have.
I don't know. Well, maybe.
You don't know.
Let's just say maybe.
You don't know?
Let's just say maybe.
Did you see Game 7? How Dallas should have done them? Yeah, they would have beat them.
Listen, Boston beat Milwaukee. Granted, they were out. They were without Middleton.
Mm-hmm.
And they beat Miami. And I think Boston had a tougher schedule than Golden State did. That's my honest opinion.
Well, they're supposed to because Golden State had a better record. But the point I'm making is different conference. The Eastern Conference lower tier is not even standing up to the Western Conference lower tier. I'm not even going to debate that. And Miami was missing a lot of pieces and still won 7 with the Celtics. Celtics is a cool story, and I think it's a great step in the right direction to finally get to the finals. But this is where Cinderella. This is where the carriage turns into the pumpkin. I'm sorry. Speaking of a team that so Idris, before we go there, you got it 4-2 as well as myself. Bretsky, you got it 4-3 Boston.
Ooh, I'm hit or miss, but yeah, I'll go 4-3 Boston. It's going 7.
I understand, and that's cool. And since we're speaking about the Celtics, it seems almost impossible to not speak about the Lakers. So we're going to slide it over there. Darvin Ham receives votes of confidence from both Giannis, who has great admiration and friendship with him, as well as current Laker LeBron James. It's interesting. I feel that Frank Vogel, previously, with the Lakers, he failed miserably. Their championship was in the bubble, which is not easy to do, and I will give them credit for that. But to miss the playoffs 2 other years with the self-proclaimed best player in the world that, he said it, I didn't. I mean, Wessie, Anthony, Dwight, AD, a lot of injuries, I get it. A lot of issues all around the board, but
a lot of egos.
A lot of egos too. But to not make the playoffs with that kind of caliber talent is just really hard, and no matter what year it is, even if they're not all in their primes, to really register. Like, how the fuck do you miss the playoffs with all those dudes? Now, granted, if they played in the East, they would have made the playoffs. But that's neither here nor there. To not make the playoffs with that kind of talent is an epic fail. So Frank Vogel had to go, despite winning a championship. He had to go. It eerily reminds me of the Lakers situation, which has been chronicled on the HBO Max special when they won a championship before Riley completely took over. It's a weird situation. And one thing I will say, and I think you might agree with me, is that coaching the Los Angeles Lakers is kind of got the same pressure and the most insecure security with job security outside of coaching the New York Yankees. I would have to say that maybe coaching the New York Yankees might be the only other gig where no matter what you did and how many times you won, they still have no problem pulling you out of there.
Oh, of course. You know, dude, it's not an easy job. You know, I mean, that's a lot of freaking pressure, man. You know, New York, LA, Boston, Miami, you know, those are all prime time spots. You know, not everybody can do the job.
Well, honestly, I feel that Darvin Ham is the right man for the job, even without the coaching experience. And I think one of the biggest reasons is that he is so well respected by his peers, even going back to his playing days. And no, he wasn't like a phenomenal player. But the point I'm making is I think he's got the toughness on his skin to deal with a gig that's always under a microscope, like the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, you know, the Celtics and Lakers, those are the two NBA dynasties thoroughly. If you look at your NBA encyclopedia, those two are in the finals so frequently it's disturbing.
Yeah.
And then there's everybody else. You know, and I'm sure Laker fans are pulling for Golden State. That's got to be fucking weird. But yeah, I like the hire. I think he's the guy that can get the most out of what they're trying to do. But no, this is not a championship caliber team. But two teams that are championship caliber. Light work, bro. Yankees and Mets put a collective mash down on their opponents tonight. Noah Syndergaard, who Dorney actually fucking hates, your boy Thor, he got lit up by the Yankees tonight. And it was a nice response after starting the Tampa series strong, but then losing the last two. You know, with the injuries on offense, the bats have been dead. Pitching's still been excellent. Jordan Montgomery finally getting a victory, finally getting some run support. Yeah. And it's nice to see Noah get his ass kicked, even though I'm not a Met fan. I don't like what he did. And it's a statement game. You know, just one game in a series, but definitely a statement game. This is a team that a lot of people feel could face the Yankees in October, possibly in the ALCS. And the Yankees will wait to see who wins the Dodger game tonight, but currently hold the best record in baseball again, as they were tied with the LA Dodgers going in. Aaron Judge, signature play, definitely something that you would look for on an ESPY Award show. Robin Shohei Ohtani of a home run and right. Beautiful fucking play.
Did the Dodgers lose to Pittsburgh yesterday?
I believe so.
Oh, the day before?
I believe so, yes.
How the fuck do you lose to Pittsburgh?
Well, Pittsburgh's not by any means the worst team in baseball. They're in the middle. They're not great, but they're not terrible. They're not pathetic.
They're not good. They're not good either.
Play 162 games in the course of the season. You're gonna see a lot of stuff happen.
Yeah, we lost against the Orioles. You know, it happens. With Syndergaard, I mean, we talked about him going to the Angels over the winter when I first started coming on the show, and I was scared of him. I was like, the Angels, the Angels always give us a hard time anyway, but to see us light them up, I was like, yeah, all right, that's what I'm talking about. Aaron Judge, he's playing for that big contract. He's bet on himself. He's like, hey, let me show you what I got. You know,
I don't even think he's playing for the contract. I just think he's having fun. Like I don't even think it's. I don't even think it's in the back of his mind.
This is what I think it's that too, but I think he's also showing them like this is what I can do.
Like he's pulling the Strahan on the Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's thinking about leaving or blah blah blah. But you know what? I'm just gonna go out and have fun, and he's having one of the best years of his career.
I don't think he's gonna go anywhere.
I want to interrupt you two just for a moment. We got some comments, and I want to be able to share these with you about the previous subject. Marcelina Fleming, Marcelina the artist.
Whoa, wait, who?
Marcelina Fleming?
That's my cousin!
Of course! Everybody's related to Idris.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Go to her Facebook. You'll see my name.
Of course it is.
Look how happy he is. He looks like...
Because I don't hear from her.
Well, you're about to hear from her.
Look at her. We look just alike. Look at her.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Warriors are very fast. They can spread the floor. They get ahead and bury you. Warriors in 5. She also went as far as saying, my Lakers will do better, but no more than a 7 seed going into the new year. I just don't see much improvement. LeBron will still call the shots. She may be right on that. It will be interesting. Where is your beard, Rich? Kim Murphy. Where is Brett's freaking lamp?
Let me get her right quick. Hold on a second.
Connecting families here. That's what we do.
Yeah. Hey, Van Exel. What are you looking at?
Oh, I'm getting ready to send a message. I'm like, yo, I don't hear from you. Where have you been? But she lives overseas, though. So.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah. She lives in England.
I want to make one final point on this, and if you guys have anything to add here. It's early, dude. I know it's going to be June 1st tomorrow.
Very early.
But I must say, the Mets. Dorney spoke to me before I got here. The Mets getting tested in a big way with a huge West Coast trip. They got the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Angels. 3 series in a row, all on the road. And Dorney told me he feels confident that they're going to go at minimum 6-4. You go 6-4 over that 10-game span. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. I mean, what's the update on DeGrom? When is he coming back?
They're still kind of not giving much, but my assumption would be late July because it looks like Scherzer's going to be back early July, at least my opinion.
Yeah.
And also McGill should be coming back within the month.
I mean, if DeGrom comes back late July, they make a run, dude. I mean, there's no stopping them.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing is,
Scherzer and DeGrom healthy. I mean, that's a fucking Jesus Christ.
But when you put the word DeGrom and then healthy next to it, that's a big ask.
Right?
No,
but
it's just a tough guy to trust.
If they're both healthy going to the postseason run, I mean, that's a Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling kind of shit. You know what I mean?
I get
nasty.
it. Yeah.
What
would DeGrom be when he comes back? You know, what is he going to be like? You know?
Right.
I mean, it's tough because I'm sure the pressure is on, but at the same time, in a weird way, it's manageable because of the fact that with the depth that they have now, with Scherzer, with Bassett, with McGill, who will come back, Taijuan Walker's also on the team. It takes a lot of pressure off of Jake having to eat up those innings the way he has in previous years. Because even if the Mets say go to the NLCS and lose or whatever should happen, they've set themselves up for a window now. That they have a window that they could actually really win a championship, even if it's not this particular year. On my baseball preview early, I had predicted the Yankees to go 96 and 66, and I believe I gave the Mets 102 or 103 wins. To scorn Dorney and to put the kibosh on the Mets, I did pick the Mets to win the series. You don't really think we're going to – I would – even if I believed that, I wouldn't pick them. But I picked them. So, try to put the kibosh out on the Mets. But it's exciting, bro. New York City, like I said, thirsty for a championship. You got 2 baseball teams that are going to be going at it, possibly with the 2 left coast teams. And usually this early in the year – things don't look this obvious.
Yeah.
And I do believe that in terms of Jeff Elder, you can have me on for the NHL anytime. You were a little late. You were slightly late.
Jeff is chipping in?
He is. Jeffrey, you were slightly late to the party. We did open with hockey. But yeah, we're going to have some stuff to talk about, especially if we cross paths in the Stanley Cup Finals, which I do believe is a distinct possibility. Rangers starting the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow.
Are you going to a Lightning game? Are you going to a Tampa game?
Yeah. I'm gonna look at tickets first thing in the morning and figure out whether I go to game 3 or game 4 or maybe game 6.
You might have to start selling some body parts if you want to go to a game.
Nah, bro. Debt free, bro. I don't gotta worry about that shit. Nah, but I just want to say thank you for
Stanley Cup playoff game in Tampa. You're gonna be selling some shit.
Me and Jeff didn't totally break our piggies last time we went there for a playoff game against the Rangers, Eastern Conference Finals back in 2015. Game the Rangers won before losing Game 7. That's crazy. I want to thank everyone for chiming in. We really appreciate the support. Definitely subscribe on YouTube. I apologize for Brett and his poor lighting situation.
It's not poor lighting when it's man in the arena, Tom Brady behind me. I had to pause it. Have you watched it yet?
No, I haven't.
Nah.
Holy shit.
But tell me about it.
I am on an episode called Goliaths, and it's the 2007 Patriots versus Giants. Oh my God, dude!
We can watch that,
dude. You're gonna lose your mind.
Guys, I'll be back. Show's over. I want to watch this. No, I'm always down to watch that.
I mean, they're 45, 50-minute. It's a documentary series, so it's like I've put a little time into it, but now I'm starting to get into it. And oh my God, the episode I just watched. Oh my God, dude. The last the last 30 seconds of it, Brady's getting off camera, and he did an interview, yada yada yada.
Brett, it's an hour-long show, Brett.
I know, but before he gets off camera, and he's stepping off the platform, he goes, "Fuck the Giants," and then just walks off set. And
right.
dude, it's classic. You got to watch it.
I'm gonna definitely check it out. No, I don't know why he would be angry with the Giants. I don't know what we did twice. So that leads us into NFL news and notes. Good segue, Brett, even if you didn't mean to do that. We're going to start with your team, the Patriots, since we have you here. They currently have not decided on an offensive coordinator to replace Josh McDaniels. Little late in the calendar year. Something to keep an eye on. You better hope that they don't ask Joe Judge to call plays over there.
I heard they are.
Hey.
Hey.
I mean, you see Bills' offense run the ball 86 times, and
we have the ability to do it. So I'm not like. I mean, granted, Belichick's a defensive mind coach. I get it, but if he needs to take over the offensive game plan, he will.
He wears enough hats.
I just don't think he's going to do it.
He wears enough hats, and he's already
be calling plays, man.
And he's already getting criticized. He's already getting criticized in a heavy way with some of his general manager decisions this past draft. I have a lot of respect for Bill Belichick, obviously starting.
Yeah,
James Correa. They won't name an OC just like they haven't named DC.
I think he's letting Josh McDaniels go into his own and doing his own thing, and I'm proud of that. He deserves a shot. He deserves a chance.
Who let him?
I worded that wrong.
Joe Judge will be calling plays, and Joe Judge will be calling quarterback seats on 2nd and 3rd down.
Hell yeah! Punting on 3rd and 30. Gonna call the max sweep, the max sweep.
Yeah, for real.
Gonna call his own number, right? And he's also gonna twice. Let's do it. Joe Judge in the house. Just kidding, man.
Bro, the wishbone.
But the wishbone. Oh shit. Also want to hit on the Green Bay Packers. I like what they did in this draft. And before I even go there, something that could potentially be interesting and which I think would lead to a resurgence is Julio Jones has been linked to the Green Bay Packers. Now, obviously, Julio has dealt with injuries the last couple of years. I might be in the minority that feels that they don't need Julio to have a successful offense comparable to what they accomplished last season. We all know that they did lose Devontae Adams. Mm-hmm. But having said that, I like what they did because they really addressed the defensive side of the ball first. And while I do feel that the Packers have had pieces for quite some time, from a talent standpoint, I believe that this particular defense they have going into the new calendar year actually might be able to get them over the top, similarly to a defense they had back in 2010, last time they won the ball. But I mean, Quay Walker, Devontae Wyatt, two beasts, first layer and second layer of the defense. Love those two. A lot of people are pulling their hair out that are Packer fans feeling that they should have gone receiver. But then they turn around and they end up drafting two quality receivers here. Christian Watson as well as Romeo Doubs. And people forget they also picked up Sammy Watkins. Now, while Sammy Watkins might not exactly at the surface look like a sexy move, take into consideration that he's got Aaron Rodgers throwing him the football. You know, he's had some injury issues in Baltimore than previously in Kansas City, yes. But, you know, once upon a time, for a very short while, was the best player on the Buffalo Bills. His career has taken a detour, but definitely still a quality receiver. One thing about Aaron Rodgers, I think he disperses the ball well, gets it out to everyone, distributes the ball really well. So ultimately it comes down to what they can do in the playoffs. And last year was embarrassing. I mean, I get it. The weather was shitty, but, you know, to win the MVP and to come up that small in a game that big, Aaron Rodgers has a lot to prove. But I kind of feel that one thing that's interesting is that they could actually be under the radar for a change, where in previous years they have been more on the side of being viewed as a favorite. Want to hit on Wan'Dale Robinson. Giants are talking about implementing him into the offense similarly to Cordarrelle Patterson and Deebo Samuel. I like it. I think it's important to have guys make plays, and it's not always going to be the traditional way. You need guys that can hurt you in different ways. And I also think that it brings an interesting element, obviously, with a hopefully returning Saquon. Offensive line has got a new look to it. And we also drafted a potentially really good tight end. The offense needs to get into the modern era. It's been embarrassing for us Giant fans with how shitty the offense has been. But I do believe that Brian Dable, Mike Kafka, they have the right idea. This kid ultimately replaces Shepard.
Well,
yeah.
You know,
I think with Wan'Dale, I think he's going to be something because he is lightning fast. He is lightning fast, and he's elusive. He has a tendency to drop passes, but if they're going to use him, you know, coming out of the backfield and all that, he could be a problem. We got Seals Jones, also the other tight end. I think he'll be the starter.
For now, yes, that makes sense. He's a veteran.
Yeah, and I've been watching some of the Giants, OTAs, and I see they lining Saquon a lot out as a flanker in the slot, and I like that because he's elusive. Once he gets the ball, he'll make you miss, and you put him, and you got Wan'Dale, you got Ricky Seals on the end, and maybe Tony and Galladay. He's talking like, "Look, I'm going to show y'all something."
I think Galladay knows he has a lot to prove, and I think he's going to challenge himself to earn some of that money.
And with Daniel Jones, he's good. He's a good quarterback. He just needs some stability.
He needs protection.
He needs, and we showed up that offense
and stability. All the different coaches. He needs both.
Yeah, he's had different offensive coordinators.
I mean, you beefed up, on the offensive line. Like your first priority should be protection
Well, it
of
has
Daniel.
been.
They did that. They
Yeah,
did that.
and they did
They
it.
did that. Yep.
So I
Did
think,
that.
I mean, it might take a year or two. I really don't know the.
Daniel Jones don't have 2 years if
He
it
got
don't happen
this
year
is his
one.
year right
Well,
here.
I mean,
This
neck
is it.
injury is no joke. Don't get me wrong, but if you protect him the way that you're supposed to protect him and the way that you drafted, it might take a year or two, but I still think you're a legitimate playoff contender. It just depends on how they can really protect him. To be
It
honest
takes a
with
year
you,
to learn. It takes a year to learn how to win. In terms of protection, this is the most confident I've been for some time in what my
For a long
expectation
time.
is. Yes, for about a decade, in what I expect
Yeah.
from the Giants' offensive line. Andrew Thomas is emerging into a quality tackle. Evan Neal.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they still got to play the games, but playing in the SEC, dealing with pro talent week in and week out, I consider him a day one ready-made starter. Glowinski
Yeah.
did a damn good job not missing a game for the Colts.
Right.
Opposite of
Blocking for
Quentin
Jonathan
Nelson.
Taylor.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, opposite of Quentin Nelson. And I feel that Feliciano keeps the job warm for now at center, but once again, a proven veteran. And I do think that with a returning Nick Gates, you got some depth. You still got Pert.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that the depth of the Giants is actually in a healthy place for a change. Lastly, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an established starter in the NFL, do you feel that you owe it to the person behind you to help groom them if they were drafted high or if there's a vision of the franchise? Eli Warner was a thing. Favre Rodgers was a thing.
Bledsoe
Brady was a thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite ring the same excitement when you hear Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis. But, the media really blew this up, made this a thing. And I kind of like the way Malik Willis has handled it. He said that Tannehill invited him to his home. They talked it out. And basically the understanding is, hey, dude, we're going to compete. I'm not giving you anything.
Right.
But you're my teammate.
Right.
So if you ask me something, yeah, I'm going to give you the most logical answer. But initially, with it's tough when you're an incumbent. I mean, look at Tyrod Taylor. He's always been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Baker Mayfield replaced him. Josh Allen replaced him. Drew Bledsoe has had some shit luck. Brady replaced him, and then Romo replaced him.
This is a very touchy subject. Like you're not getting paid to coach the other guy. You're getting paid to be quarterback for that team.
Right.
So
win games.
I understand, where the guidelines are, but if you're a team player and you want to win championships, you have to make those sacrifices.
You want that guy to be ready in case you get your teeth knocked out.
110%.
Correct.
But it's every guy's different. Every player's different. It depends on their character. It depends on their motive. It depends on their determination. Their just whole winning style of everything. It just depends on the right guy. Like I want to say I guarantee you, but if Brady right now on Tampa, if they drafted a 5-6 round pick to take a spot, if he was the guy to coach him up and say, this is what you got to do, yada, 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 I really don't know what he would do.
I mean, nobody knows. It's always a crapshoot.
Yeah, like I mean, my gut instinct tells me that he would coach him up and tell him what to do in the right situations, and
it's already been proven, Brett, because Matt Castle, Jimmy Garoppolo,
yes,
have both learned a decent amount in terms of being teammates to the man you just mentioned, Tom Brady. I think Tannehill is a class guy. I just think that he wants to keep his job, and I guess that's the goal of any football
He
player.
does, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like
No.
I'm not holding that against the guy.
I just wanted
but-
to kind of get your spin on it, but we're coming up on the 10-minute mark, and I want to get to our final segment here.
Mhm. Man, that's a tough one.
We got to start bench cut. Baseball movie edition.
Mm-hmm.
Got the Field of Dreams. We got For the Love of the Game. And we got some Bull Durham. This is the Kevin Costner.
It's a hard one, man.
Who do you want to go first, Rich? Who do you want to go first? This is your call.
I'm going to let you go first because I don't want my show to end with your hoarse voice. Continue.
Really?
No, you're on, Brett. 90 seconds,
right.
Start bench cut. Field of Dreams,
right.
For the Love of the Game, Bull Durham.
I'm going to cut For the Love of Game. And I hate to do it. Oh, it's a good flick. It's got our boy from Step Brothers in it. He great actor. He played Kevin Costner's he played Kevin Costner's catcher. Like, I hated it.
Currently in the Lakers HBO Max special.
I gotta bench Bull Durham. I really can't give you a reason why. That's my opinion. Like, that's the way I'm going right now. Field of Dreams. I mean, oh man, that is the most classic baseball Kevin Costner flick of all time. Ray Liotta recently passed away. Got to give it to him. The Yankees White Sox game, this past year. Boom. Field of Dreams, start. Bull Durham, bench. For Love of Game, cut.
Idris, you're up.
Same way. Cut Love of the Game, bench Bull. Let's go with Field of Dreams. Go with Field of Dreams for everything he said, and it's the ultimate baseball movie. I mean, come on. I mean, when you talk baseball, you talk of Field of Dreams. When you think baseball, you think of the Field of Dreams. That's all you can give, man. I can't give no more. That's it. I'll take the loss or the tie, whatever, but that's it. He said everything.
Yeah.
All right. I'm giving you guys a tie, but this is the deal. The only thing that I would have changed, you know what? Nah, but come to think of it, I wouldn't have either. And it's weird for me to have to agree completely, but this is the thing. You said you cut both of you cut For Love of the Game, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was an awesome movie.
Great movie.
But this is the thing.
Billy Chapel.
I feel that I'm going to put it to you like this. For the Love of the Game and Bull Durham both get a tie as a second where it's like, okay, they're tied, no cut. Because this is the thing. It was a different kind of ride for each character, but it was the same kind of result. In Bull Durham, I think it really emphasized the true love of the game in the sense of the sacrifices that minor leaguers have to make to stay relevant, kick around in the minors, kick around in the minors, kick around in the minors.
To get to the minimum,
go through all that. And then in Field of Dreams, it was a different aspect, kind of rehashing history of, in my opinion, the most controversial Hall of Fame rejection in terms of Shoeless Joe Jackson. After him, I guess you could say Pete Rose after him, but nobody should get in before Shoeless Joe out of guys that are not in now, especially now that they finally met. In my opinion, what was long overdue with allowing the Negro League players in after so many years, which, finally giving those men the proper acknowledgement. Dude, I would have to say this is a clean tie this time. Do we want a tiebreaker or do we want to be content on a tie tonight?
Your call.
Don't matter to me. Don't matter to me.
Your call, buddy.
Shit, man. All right. Major League. Hardball. And The Sandlot. Start, bench, cut.
Fuck.
That's a tough one too, huh?
Yeah, it really is.
Brett
You
Hustle.
said Major League. You said Major League, Sandlot, and what else?
Major League and
Sandlot
hardball.
and Hardball. Hustle, Brett. We're coming up on that 4-minute mark.
All right. I'm gonna cut Hardball. I love G Baby. I love Keanu Reeves.
Everybody loves
Great.
G-Baby.
Great ending. Very emotional. I'm gonna bench Sandlot, and this breaks my heart to do it. Benny the Jet, man. I can't go wrong with Benny the Jet. He became an LA Dodger. Thumbs up, Benny the Jet. I'm gonna start Major League. It's kind of hard not to, man. You got Rick the Wild Thing Vaughn, Pedro Serrano, Roger Dorn. Yeah, oh my God, Willie the Maze Hayes. Come on, man.
All right, Idris.
Come
Go
on,
ahead, buddy. You up, Idris?
Nah, we're gonna put first Sandlot starting. Second place is Major League. Last place is the chick one. You know what I'm talking about. Sandlot first, Major
Hardball.
League, then Hardball.
Hardball.
The Sandlot because them kids playing baseball. You got Squints, you got the girl, you got the dog, and you got the ball.
Wendy Peppercorn.
Yes, the Sandlot wins. Period. It's the bad news. It's like the bad news bears.
This is a good one, man. This is a good one. Oh man, this is tough.
It's hard. That was hard, man. That was hard.
Oh man,
That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one.
All right, 2.5 minutes. I'm going to tell you the way I would grade them, and then I'm going to tell you what I thought about your debate. I myself also start Major League, and I will explain why. I do believe that the banter in the locker room, the day-to-day bullshit, especially with a team that was a bunch of misfits, and it happens often. We talked about this recently with tanking. I think in that regard, it's very realistic, especially the way that Jake Taylor puts it on full display with all the beatings he took. And my God, it's just so fucking funny. It's just so fucking funny.
It is.
The Sandlot is very dear to my heart, too. My mother took me to see that in the movie theater.
Same.
Oh, no shit. Very, very special movie to me. Always will be. But just
you also took me to see Little Big League.
Yeah. I'm cutting Hardball, not because I don't love the movie. I love Keanu. I love G Baby. It's just when I see Keanu in that role, it doesn't age as well because I see too much Emilio Estevez going. It just gives me that Emilio Estevez vibe. Emilio, it just gives me that weird Emilio Estevez vibe.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that I do agree on Brett's starter, and I like both your points. I got to give Brett the slight edge here in the double OT. Great debate, guys. Great show as well. Brett, thanks for coming in, man. I know you feel like crap. I really appreciate you being on the show tonight,
I'm
dude.
getting there. I took a shitload of vitamins today, so I'm good. I had a little nap, took some vitamins. I'm good.
Last chance. You stick with the Celtics?
Yeah.
In 7.
Going 7.
Warriors in 6, I think. Yeah, Idris and I share that sentiment. And
shout out to my cousin Marcelina. She said Warriors in 5. That's my girl.
That's dope, dude. That's dope that she just that's really dope. All right, guys, we are out. Idris, Brett, thank you so much, man. Great show, both of you. Idris, I know you said you got to get to bed, so do that. I'm going to holler at this guy for a minute. Have a good night, gents.
All right, man. Be easy.
Peace.